Okay, so we are live now. Hey, hi Anurag. Hi Killshot. All good man, all good. एक बार यार बता दो आवाज सही कि गुड आफ्टरनून अनुराग। एक बार आवाज का बता दो और लाइट का बता दो। हाय हाय हिमालयन ड्रिफ्टर। हाय निशांत। लाइट एंड वॉइस ऑल गुड, एवरीथिंग परफेक्ट। चलो बढ़िया बढ़िया। अभी बस थोड़ी देर में है ना, रिक्रूटर जो है ऋतिका मैम वो ज्वाइन करेंगे और फिर हम लोग शुरू करते हैं बढ़िया से। यार बताऊं, बहुत सारे रिस्पॉन्सेज आए थे मेरे को रेज्यूमेस के, और मैंने काफी शिवम तुम थोड़ा सा लेट हो गए, क्योंकि रेज्यूमे के लिए मैंने फॉर्म रिलीज किया था शायद एक हफ्ते पहले, और उसमें बहुत ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सेज आए, तो शॉर्टलिस्टिंग मुझे करनी थी, तो मैंने 6-7 घंटे में बंद कर दिया था फॉर्म। और जब मैंने लिंक्डइन पे उसे वो किया था, शेयर किया था उसके बाद, तो फिर तो बंद हो गया। बट कोई बात नहीं, अगर ये सेशन सक्सेसफुल रहा, अगर सबको कुछ अच्छा लगा ये वाला सेशन, तो डेफिनेटली मैं है ना एक और सेशन ऐसे ही करवाऊंगा। और अभी रुचिका मैम ज्वाइन करेंगे थोड़ी देर में। अंशुमन राणा, हाय भाई। प्लेसमेंट करवा रही। देखो, प्लेसमेंट तो मेरे को पता नहीं मैं कैसे कर पाऊंगा, बट तुम्हारी कोशिश, मैं अपॉर्चुनिटीज तो शेयर कर ही रहा हूँ यार। तो बस स्टे ट्यून फॉर मोर सच अपॉर्चुनिटीज, और अप्लाई करते रहो सब में। अभिषेक कैसे हो यार? मैं भी बहुत बढ़िया हूँ। आ रहे हैं बस यार। ओके, हमारे पास काफी लोग ज्वाइन हो गए हैं, तो मैं एक बार उन्हें एक और मैसेज कर देता हूँ। अ, तुम लोग बता दो यार, तुम्हें और कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही है तो, मतलब यार कंटेंट में कोई और चेंजेस चाहिए क्या? मतलब ऑल्दो अभी थोड़ा स्लो हो गया कंटेंट डलना भी, थोड़े एग्जाम एग्जाम का सीन था, और अभी थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स आ गई थी, बट रेगुलर हो जाऊंगा अभी थोड़े टाइम में वापस। तो बता दो यार, तुम्हें कुछ और एक्स्ट्रा चीजें चाहिए तो। और जीएफजी वालों से भी बात कर ली, एक गुड न्यूज दे देता हूँ मैं। जीएफजी वालों से बात कर ली है, थोड़े टाइम में गिव अवे आ जाएगा। ठीक है। कंपनी। ओके, सो रुचिका मैम हमारे साथ, लाइक रुचिका इज ऑल्सो हियर। आई एम एडिंग हर टू स्ट्रीम। हाय रुचिका, हाउ आर
Hi,
यू?
good, good.
So, okay, great. So, all of the students who are watching us, Ruchika is with us now, and we'll start in a few minutes, so that let everybody join. And I hope you are having a good day till now, Ruchika.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, so we already have a few questions over here. We'll take it by the end of the session. And so the process was like, I got a lot of responses from the students, around around 50 responses, and then I shortlisted from them. It was a difficult task, I would say. The resume, some of the resumes were very good, and some of them were not that, according to me, were not that good. And then I shortlisted out of them the three resumes that we'll be reviewing right now. And just give me a heads up when we can start. It's already 2:57, so let's start at 2:59. And just to give you information, whomsoever is watching, that it was not like that I reviewed each and every word of the resume. I used some relevant algorithms from the internet to review, to, generate a score of the resume, and then I rank listed them. And it was not like I used a single algorithm, I used multiple websites to rank the resume. So it is completely unbiased. Okay. So we have 26 students here. Ritika, can you hear me fine? I mean, is there any
I can.
background noise or something? Okay,
No, good. Thank you.
great, great. We have 26 students right now with us, and we'll start in a minute. So जो जो भी देख रहा है अपने फ्रेंड से भी बोल दो, वो भी जल्दी से ज्वाइन कर लें.
I was just going through the comments. Very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot actually. Can you
I,
scroll them, or do I need to do it for you?
no, I can. Yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
one that caught my attention was, "Hello, sir. Placement karwa do, please."
Oh, that's a pretty difficult question though. Okay, we can just one more minute. All charged up. So shoot your questions in the chat box, and we'll take it by the end of the session. And now we can start. Let me share my screen. So ready, Ritika?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Let me share my screen with the first resume.
Wear my spectacles. Please excuse me. I'm in that category now.
Okay, let's take this one. Can you see it clearly, or should I zoom in
Yeah,
a
if you
bit?
can zoom in, it'll be slightly better. Yeah, yeah, much
Okay.
better. Okay. All right. So, to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'll quickly call out the things that are not correct with the resume. And those are things that I can easily catch, and then I'll get into the details of what are the things that you need to make changes, and what are the things that you need to basically concentrate more on. So first off, I see that the person has, I'm assuming that is the address, Kolkata dash 152 India, not required, you can remove it. And guys, another again, I think this is another pet peeve of mine. I don't like email IDs which are really weird. Like, just stick to your name as an email ID, like 01 this that. Why do you want to make it fancy? I've even come across email IDs which are like hunk, sexy, whatever. Please excuse my words, but these are the kind of email IDs that people use. Just use your name, because this email ID is something that will be used for all your further. If you were to kind of get placed anywhere, it would be used for all your further interactions with the organization, and as you grow up as well. When you mature, and finally when you're maybe a senior manager or whatever, maybe a CEO, you probably want to change your email ID. So better you have all of that sorted in the beginning itself. uh, Kushal, I was just thinking, you wanted to block out their personal details. Do you want to do that maybe for the next resumes, or shall we continue?
I mean, actually, as I told, I already mentioned this in the form that you should hide those details, but
Okay.
eventually they did.
So
I'll blur these information after
yeah,
the video will published.
sure. So yeah, that'll be better, I think. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So can you
Yes.
put your cursor on the LinkedIn and the GitHub? I just want to see if it is hyperlinked on top. Can you scroll up?
No, it does not.
So just make sure that you hyperlink all your GitHub and LinkedIn links. It's easier. Coming to the education section, so you don't need to mention your 10th and 12th. You can absolutely remove that. Go ahead and do that. I don't like, why is this expected written over there? It sounds like you are expecting a baby. So you can go ahead and remove that. I mean, obviously we know that 2021 is just around the corner, so you will graduate. You don't need to add fancy words to make sure that it looks fancy. So you can go ahead and remove that. I like that the person has put in their CGPA. Again, very important for folks who freshers specifically who have not been placed yet. CGPA is something very important that you need to put on your resume. And again, a call out here, if suppose your college does a CGPA out of 5, then make sure that you convert it into a 10 and put that there, because a lot of companies have that bar. They have a set of algorithms, like Kushal just mentioned, on the basis of which they screen profiles. So just make sure that you do the conversion, and there is a method you can go ahead and you can research on that. Okay, so coming to the relevant courses, data structures analysis. Just scroll up a little, Kushal. Can you scroll up? Up.
Yeah, I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I was
yeah,
just,
yeah,
yeah, what was written? Okay. Okay, I think the education section is sorted. We can come to the experience one. Now, experience again, this is something that I want to call out again and again. Guys, if you have done your internship, then make sure that you call it out as internship experience, right? Uh, just by saying experience, you're not basically blindsiding anyone. I mean, I know that if suppose somebody is yet to graduate, obviously their experience is internship. So why don't you just call that out? I mean, it's easier to understand that okay, this person has some relevant internship experience.
yeah.
um okay, so getting into the experience, contributed to 3 different projects of the Girls Trip Summer Code of 20, 3 months long open source development program conducted by, link to all the contribution. Okay, is that hyperlinked? The is the link
No,
hyper?
yeah. This one is hyperlinked.
So I think here my only point would be, while you did contribute to this project, I do want to maybe see what was your, what was the takeaway from it. So supposing you worked on this project and then what happened? I'm sure there was the after part of it as well. Supposing who used this project, what happened after that? How many people, used whatever the work that you did, and how did they build on it? So very important to kind of provide that part. So the impact part of your project is something that is very, very important, right? Again, if I go into the next one, it says published 12 articles on various technical topics related to different data structures, algorithms. Again, this is very vague, like and maybe this is coming from someone who's not a software engineer. Maybe a software engineer would be able to read it better, but unfortunately software engineers don't screen your profiles, HRs do. So for an HR it is very important that you're able to you're not very vague about your things that you put in your experience. So make sure that you are absolutely crystal clear on what you have done and what has been the impact of that. Okay, I know that he has provided the links to that, and probably if there was more time, I would want to go through it and really understand what is it that what kind of articles has this person published. But good job so far. I think it's a good resume, but a little more tweaks and I think you will be sorted. Open source contributor to 15. This also seems fine to me. I think again, yeah, I think this person has already done it, but resume in terms of your experience has to be in reverse chronological order, starting from the most recent and then going your way back.
Yep.
Now, skills is something that comes towards the end. You don't have to put skills immediately after your experience. So you can move that towards the later half of your resume. Coming to the projects now, another feedback on this resume, there is no breathing space right now. It's too cluttered, right? So even though he or she has managed to put everything in one page, and good job there, but you do need to provide that space. So even after like the project heading one, whenever the stuff after project is done, just make sure that there is some space before you start with the next heading. Okay. A progressive web application built with materialized CSS, where users can explore. Again, this also is a half story. Basically, he's not told me what happens after the climax. So I want to know, whatever he has done, he made this web application, which is great, 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 and then what happened? I want to know what happened, because here I what I can get is, oh, he's done something really cool, which is something to do with exploring, movies and stuff. And if someone like a movie buff like me, I'd be more interested to know, okay, what exactly is this. So make sure that you talk about the impact of it as well. That's very, very important. A hybrid model consisting of assemble, classifier. Okay, analyze customer. This is, I think it's fine. This experience is fine. Blog feed, a multi-user blogging application unit with stack with. Okay, okay. I would definitely want to click on that blog feed link. I want to know what exactly it is that you've done. You want to, yeah, maybe just click on that. We can see what it is.
It's the link to that repository. Let me check if the Heroku app is working or not. Okay. By the time it will process, we can go back.
Yeah. Okay. Now coming to the
The
okay,
research.
this is fine. Research. A new hybrid feature selection class, co-authored by, okay, got accepted for oral presentation and publication for the fifth. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So see, now this person has been smart enough to now give me a percentage, which is good. There's a number that says that, okay, there is a superior accuracy, that this work, that whatever that person has done has kind of improved it by 82 point whatever percentage. So that's good. So he is kind of making an attempt to, make sure that he's adding those numbers and percentages. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the volunteer experience. Mentor 10 students in the 3 months long open source development program, student code, developer and coordinator of the college Linux. So, see, again, volunteering experience is something, and I was going through a couple of other resumes as well. A lot of people have put, open source this, open source that. I don't know, maybe things have changed now, but in my day, not that long ago, oh, well, volunteering basically meant was, like helping old age homes, or helping animals. I'm not sure if the lingo has changed or the verbiage has changed there, because this also sounds very technical. Like, it sounds that, okay, while you're doing volunteering, you are also trying to build on your own capabilities. You're, sharpening your own skill sets around, say, coding, or whatever. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily call this a volunteering experience as such. I think volunteering is more as like a social service. I may be wrong. Maybe you can, go and research on it. I'm not saying that I'm the right person when it comes to giving advice here, but again, volunteering is something around those lines. So I'm not sure if this fit under volunteering. But if you think that it's something really good, or something really great, maybe you can add it, up top, with your other experience. Because while I know it's a really cool concept about, this person mentoring students, and it's really nice, but why not, add it on top? I think volunteering, let's just leave it to what it's called, unless things have changed. I don't know, the Gen Z, they just keep coming up with new things. So okay.
Yeah.
So coming to the last, and this is my favorite as well. I generally kind of take some time to read the achievements. So rank 56th in the girls script summer code among 2,000 participants. Okay, fair enough. Among top 50 nationwide finalists, 41th rank. Okay. This one I'm not sure if it's like, your best attempt. Like, out of, say, the top 50, you scored 41, you came 41. So you may want to kind of rethink if it goes on your resume, because I don't know if it is adding to it or not adding to it, and I'll leave that to you. But maybe just, think again, and maybe think it from this perspective. If you were to give this resume, to a CEO, would you want that line to be there, or do you want to maybe, focus on something else? Like, for example, I like the next one, which says 4 star, rated in code chef. Now again, Kushal, I'll ask you, is this something
Yes.
that is really true, or
Yeah, I mean, a four-star coder is considered to be, a good coder, but rather he could have mentioned in which range he, lies, because there are around 1 lakh students who
Hmm.
use CodeChef. So he could
Hmm.
have mentioned the range in which he lies, because Code Chef mentioned that thing.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, I think good for you to mention where exactly you feature in those, whatever the number is. I think that will be good. Rather than, giving your CodeChef ID, no one is going to go and search for you. Ki bhai, how much did this person get? Let me go and cross check. So make sure that you provide all of that information in one go. Now, this one also, the last one also was something that, again, it's like, and please don't quote me. I'm not being rude. It's just the way I talk. It's like, me saying that, hey, I came 35th in a class of 40 and I did very well. So that's how it sounds. So just make sure that you make your resume very crisp and just focus. I know that we want to go overboard and make sure that we cover everything that we've done, but just stick to the top one or two things, and I think you should be sorted.
Yeah,
uh,
and this was the blog site he was talking about, where he
okay.
has some authentication feature, I guess, and some articles.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this is
So
good. This is
this
good.
was the one, and let me give a shout out. It was Arghaddeep Chakraborty's resume. Now the second one is Anish Agarwal. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I hope you can see it.
Yeah, I can. I was just going through
Okay.
the questions as well, so that was catching my attention. Somebody asked,
Okay.
"Ma'am, visit new campus of Microsoft." The Noida one, I'm assuming, no, nobody has visited, and I don't think we will probably visit anytime soon unless, things improve. But yeah, I would love to see it. It looks like Taj Mahal. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes. We all saw that video. It was great.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. Okay, Anish. Now, Anish, we are sorry if somebody stalks you on social media, but my apologies for sharing your information like this. And we'll try our level best to blur it. Okay. So, Anish, I don't know if, again, I think his GitHub and LinkedIn links are not hyperlinked.
No, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, they are. They are. They are.
They are? Okay, cool. So that's sorted. I like the way that he's used space very well. And that's good as well. He has not mentioned his phone number. Anish, you don't want the recruiter to call you. If supposing we want to get in touch with you, how do you expect us to call you? So just make sure that you put your phone number as well. Okay, coming to the education, I like it. Good. Bachelor of Technology, good CGPA. Hamirpur. Okay. I think the education part is sorted. No changes there. I think the only thing that I would probably want to say is the font just below the education, the relevant coursework. It's rather small. I don't know if I'm finding it rather small, but it's very small. So just make sure that you
Yes.
make it little big. Because and another thing, what's happening is in the under the education section, I see about three, four, fonts being used. So there is the
Yeah.
National Institute of Technology, then there is the where you mentioned the name of the location and the college, then there is what exactly the course that you're doing, then there is another font. So just make sure you don't need four five fonts just for one section. Just stick to two. If you want to make it too fancy, then maybe three, but not so much. It looks too cluttered then. Okay. Full stack developer develops an online job portal currently being used by 20 plus companies. This is nice. Uh I like this very much. Work with React. Okay. Okay. I think what I would like to see is maybe a hyperlink of the job portal that you help develop. So that will really give an example of your work, and you can probably, maybe just hyperlink it there under the. You can find some space there and just make sure that you put that as an example. Um, Google Summer of Code Developer. Okay, where user can interact with component props to see in real time how different configurations affect visual and functional output. The playground system is capable of automatically generating the correct toggle type for a prop as well as the code. Man, I didn't understand anything, but it sounds fancy. I think here the only thing I would say is you are using too many words to explain your experience under the Google Summer of Code. Maybe shorten it a bit. because what's happening is it's rather long. Nobody's going to read those 3 4 sentences, and it's a little too vague as well. So just make sure that you're a little crisper when you talk about your experience, especially the fact that it's Google. Someone will actually spend time reading it, but don't let them feel disconnected because it's rather long. So rather just focus on the 3 or 4 key essentials, and that's it. um Coordinated with other mentors to guide 20. So again, this is something that I don't know if I would probably put it in my resume. I mean, if it's just coordination that you've done with other mentors, then I don't know. But if you've done some solid work around, or if you have mentored the students, then you definitely have to. So again, it's a fine line between what you decide to put in and what you don't. If you think
Yes.
that something will ruin your chances because it's vague, then don't put it in there. That's going to be my advice to you for sure. um Okay, after what produce personalized feedback. I like this as well. Added several functionalities to the chat box, like rendering out music or video. Okay, this is also nice. Examples, please make sure that you put examples of your stuff, unless if you're working with an organization where they don't want you to, you know, uh, probably share this information externally, that's fine. But if you think that you are open to and you can, then please give examples of your work, because this will really help. And I'm not just saying HRs, people who don't understand technology, even software engineers. If supposing a hiring manager is looking at your resume and they want an example of your work, they just have to simply click there and it'll take them there and they're sorted. So just make sure that you take that extra effort. It's just a small thing, but it'll make such a difference in your resume.
Yeah, I guess he mentioned that hyperlink on
Oh,
the
it's
heading.
there. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Cool, cool, cool.
it's
All right.
projects.
Nice. A desktop tool to compile and edit. Okay, render output based on the provided input. Implement functionalities like syntax. Okay. Results publishing system developed and symmetric key encryption based result. I think this the project section is fine, and I'm assuming that projects are probably not done during internship, but maybe it's as and when, right, Kushal? Does that happen with
Yeah,
engineering?
yeah. I mean, one thing that I think is missing, that the timeline of projects, because in my resume I used to mention at what time I made that particular project, because
Correct.
that also provides much more information to the recruiter
Mm,
as well as the hiring manager, if that
mm,
project has been done during the early years of engineering or the later years of engineering.
I
So
agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think adding the dates would definitely help. And it's at times, maybe if it's an ongoing project as well, just put there that you're
yeah,
currently associated or you're working on that or whatever. But yeah, dates definitely help, because then it also shows there is a growth, in your in the way you're handling the kind of projects that you're associated with. That also gives an example that okay, starting was small, and now that you've gathered all the right knowledge through your whatever years of engineering, you're actually scaling up the kind of projects as well that you're taking. So that's also a good point. Okay, achievements. Google Kickstart. Okay. I'm assuming there are different rounds that happen in
yeah,
Google coding competitions.
seven
And
seven rounds. Yes.
so there was the first round. This like, I'm sorry, I am not aware of the Google coding competition, but is this like round one and then he ranked 325? Is that something like that, or
No, actually, what happens is the competition occur round the year, where we have 7 rounds, and each round is, the rank list is made separately for each round, and the ranking is
okay?
being generated separately. Yeah.
And would you know how many participate approximately? Like I can gauge
No,
the.
it varies from round to round, and he should have mentioned how many candidates were there, because it's already also there, mentioned on the portal.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that would help. This one I liked, Elastic Contributor program, ranked number one worldwide, which is good. Um, okay, this is a good one. Okay, Coordination ranked 165. That's also a great rank. Lead
Yes.
Code, bi-weekly contest, 161 out of, okay. Okay. I mean, I'll put it there because it's a fairly good rank. So,
Yes.
code chef, code competition, rely ranked. Okay. So I think overall, my feedback on this resume is a solid resume. And if I were to read it, I would most definitely screen it for further rounds of interview. But I think the only thing for me would be at this point in time is just give examples more and more of your work. Make it crisp. You don't have to go into too many details and write a saga of your experience. Just yeah, just keep it crisp. I think you should be sorted. It's a good resume.
So congratulations, Anish. You just got shortlisted by a Microsoft recruiter.
Yeah.
Moving. So I actually, get.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you're
Sorry.
saying?
I think don't quote me anywhere, Anish.
Yeah, definitely he'll not. So let's move on to our last one. If you want to take or you find any question interesting, you can take it.
Sure, madam, please tell whether it's important to include lead code. Yeah, definitely. If you've got a good rating, I mean, you've got a good rank, then I mean, include it, but not like if you've got like 1,000 में कोई rank आया है तो I mean, just again, assess what is it that you would want to put in there. That's something that, like, for example, if I was a college topper, and if I was looking for a job, probably I would put it there rather than, me talking about, say, I participated in some competition and that's it, like nothing happened, right? So just make sure that you are a little more assertive about what you put into your resume.
So Anurag Tiwari has also asked, ma'am, are you a technical recruiter or an HR?
Okay. Anurag, I'm both. I am what is that phrase? Jack of all trades, master of none. No, I'm kidding. So I am a recruiter. That's my job. But other than recruiting, I do a lot of other things as well. But I wouldn't call myself a technical recruiter because I think then that kind of just it kind of puts me in one kind of under one pillar, and that's something that I don't like because it's very fluid. It's not just recruitment. There's a lot of whole bunch of things that we do as well, and recruitment, of course, is the core of it. But yeah, I hope that
Great.
answers your question.
Yeah. Let's move on to our last resume. That is Shubham
Sure.
Kumar.
Okay, Shubham. Um, All right. So again, a lot of space is being wasted because you're mentioning your, one after the other. So you can, basically use that space effectively. You can probably look at the previous resume. I liked Anish's resume where he had, used the space effectively. So just make sure you don't need so much of space just to mention those, those links on top.
Yeah.
Okay. I think couple of things I'll quickly call out. Skills and summary go last, and I don't know what he means by skill summary. Acha, skill summary. Okay, so you don't need to write summary; just write skills. That goes last. Up top is your education. That is the first thing that comes up. With your, I'm assuming he has put his education. Can you scroll down, Kushal?
Let me check. Yeah, at the end, and it's more than a page.
Okay.
You
So you
can.
have to reduce it to one page, make sure that your education details go up top, and you have to mention your CGPA. And even if your CGPA is not good, even then you have to mention your CGPA. I'm sorry, because that is something that, at least before you get your first job, that's something that a lot of companies look at. So just make sure that you put that there. You don't want to lose an opportunity because you did not mention your CGPA, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of have that there. Okay, let's get into the experience. Litmus Chaos, Linux Foundation Mentorship, Open Source Developer. Okay, so he's still doing this. Okay, I think he's recently started this experience, his internship.
Yes.
Again, you have to mention internship experience, please. Working on fetching chaos events using sending it through display notification on front end dashboard. Tech Golang. Okay. This is good, but again, maybe I'm not sure if you can provide examples or hyperlink. I'm not sure if he's done that already, but if you have not, make sure that you hyperlink some of the work that you have put in here.
Yeah, I guess he is.
He
So,
has.
okay. Yeah, he has, I guess. Yeah. I mean, he has hyperlinked the GitHub repositories actually.
Okay, fine.
Moving
Moving on, Mozilla Foundation server and client design proposed and designed. Okay, web authentication server through for two-factor authentication and refactored around 20 lines of code. Wow, okay. 1,000 lines of code. Designed client side off and allowed use to choose password. Okay. This is a cool one, and I would definitely want to know more about what this is. But I like the way that he's explained it as well. So that's good.
Yeah, the
Uh,
success metric thing, which is
yeah,
quite
I like.
impressive.
Yeah.
Third, yeah.
All right. Girls Script Foundation project admin. Plant disease detection. Oh, very nice. Created a web application based on detects disease in sleep. Wow. Okay, this is a very interesting one. So what I like about this so far is the fact that he's done very varied kind of projects, and I like that. That's something that catches my attention for sure. And what I can gauge is that this person is not scared of taking risks, wants to go, above and beyond and try out and experience new things. So that's really, really good. So
Yeah.
kudos to you on that one. Um, Mentored and guided. I okay, so I think this person has finally someone has listened to me, and I like that he's put impact in bold, and then he's mentioned mentored and guided more than 20 students. Okay, good job. I think it's a good resume. I think I'll give you a +1 for putting impact.
This is
Okay,
nice.
develop a starter template with top added latest features such as content management system, dark theme, newsletter. So I think the dark. Okay, so under this, what I liked was the dark theme, and I'm assuming that also is because of the accessibility aspect. I believe that the whole dark theme around, when people use dark theme is because of some accessibility reasons. So maybe you can highlight that from that perspective that you are cognizant of that part of it, right? You want to make sure that your feature or your whatever the product that you're aligned to is accessible to people above and beyond just the normal spectrum that we are looking at, right? So that is a good one. I like that piece. um okay. Pre-flare, develop Reddit flare detection, research oriented open source web application detects a flare, or post title based on given top 14 flare. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I like this as well. It had person has managed to get 95% accuracy, which is good. Use
Yeah.
plot to visualize most impacted words. Very nice. I like the again. I think I'll just call out. I think very cool stuff that this person has been doing. I would definitely interview him. Okay. Awards and honors. Let's move to the last.
Sure. Yes.
Awarded title of Intel Software Innovator 2019, Microsoft Children Partner. Well, I don't know if it is an award. Microsoft, yeah, Kushal can probably add on to it.
It's not.
It's
It's community work actually. It's a
yeah.
community, and you're a
So
part of it. Yeah.
yeah, so if someone from Microsoft were to read that, then they would feel bad. So make sure that you don't put that unless you got some gold badge or whatever badge. I know that there are different levels within that, or if you've done some significant work under that, then you can mention it, but otherwise remove it. I know Microsoft looks nice on your resume, but don't misuse it like this. Virtual software engineering experience, and I'm assuming um okay, so
This
he's
is
not.
not an award actually. Like
Yeah.
Microsoft also had this virtual experience for the students, so it's
So this
not
is
an.
the one. So
Yeah.
remove it. I know what the Microsoft virtual experience was. I ran the show from the back end, so I'm aware of it. But yeah, again, that does not comes under awards and honors. And you can change the word to achievements. Honors and awards are very probably you got some award from you understand, right? What I'm saying. I don't want to be mean, But yeah, just change the wording to achievements and you should be sorted. And it's fine. Even if there is one achievement, put it there. You don't have to feel bad that, oh, I don't have many achievements and this and that. That's fine. And I like the first one is an award, so that is good. But the
Yes.
next, I think I would not mention that for sure. Okay, this one is also volunteering. Is there some way that we can change the heading to something else? Because I don't know if I won't count it as volunteering experience. Maybe you can add something like, I don't know.
Uh,
Oh,
Community work, because I saw, because it's open source community and they're contributing to it, so maybe
yeah,
they can add
you
like that.
can. Yeah, please take Kushal's advice. He's also a future Microsoftie. Okay,
Okay. So
let's.
great, great. It was really amazing. And yeah, before we jump on to questions, I want to give a huge shout out to Ruchika, who shares such amazing insights from all the resumes. And I also mentioned her channel link in the description. If you haven't checked it out yet, do check it out. She makes some or shares some amazing content over there. And now we can jump over to questions. So you can shoot your questions over there. And Ritika, you can scroll up and down to have, because
Okay,
we have a lot of people here, 72,
okay. Um,
and I'll pinpoint some of them which I find good enough.
Someone has asked a very technical question. Anurag, I'm sorry, I am not the right person to
Uh,
answer.
I'll I'll take the technical questions later on. If anything related to resume or recruitment or anything related to company Microsoft, then you may ask your questions. And other than
Yeah,
that, I'll take
I think
this
one of
one.
the questions.
Shall we get an idea what kind of resume will be the best for placements?
So the best resume, there is nothing as known as a best resume and a worst resume. It's just a resume,
Yeah.
and what you do with it is what counts, right? And also, I feel that a resume is always work in progress. It's never really done. Like even with me, 9 years of experience, even I feel I need to work on my resume. And the last time I updated my resume was about 4 years back. So
Yeah.
you have to keep working on it, right? And just think from this perspective, you are giving your resume to the CEO of the company, and the CEO will read it for 2 minutes. Now, in that 2 minutes, what that person reads is going to kind of it will be like a make and break for you, as long as your job is concerned. So just make sure that you whatever it is that you put in there is crisp, has an impact that you can showcase, and is able to make that impression on the person reading it, that okay, I definitely want to meet this person and know more about it. Because a resume is just to kind of get you maybe that interview or whatever, but what you do with it is something that happens next. So
So this is one of the questions. Like, what does a recruiter saw in a different coding profile? So you already mentioned in one of our videos before and today as well. Like you are pretty interested in the matrix or the number game. So
mm,
that definitely helps.
yeah, so
Uh,
ranks, you'll have to call out more of that, your ranks. Don't mention anything which is really like in thousands. It's not adding to your resume. It's making you look not that great, right? So something around the ratings or the ranks or whatever, that will really add more to your resume.
this is one more question, and I guess Ruchika has already cleared it in one of the previous videos that we had. You can check it out on the channel. Okay. So the questions are repeating itself because we already had a session over resume building and how to get your resume shortlisted. I'll share the link in the description after this session. I'll publish it after publishing this video. And if you have any more doubts related to resume building or which is not covered in a previous video, then we'll definitely want to take it. And else, if you want to share anything, Ritika, then please go ahead. I'll remove this thing, this question.
Sure. No, I think that I'm just going through the questions, and I'll probably just summarize it quickly. There are questions around, what about tier 3 colleges? We don't get so many opportunities. Well, I beg to differ, and I'll be very upfront. And I'm sorry if it it's sounding brutal, but there are a lot of opportunities. So you have to be looking for those opportunities. Nobody's going to come and send you an email saying that, hey, Kushal, here are the opportunities, please come. That's not going to happen. I know a lot of people who are very active on LinkedIn, and they are not just active on LinkedIn, they are actually looking for opportunities. A lot of companies, especially towards the end of the year, I would say post December, they start having a lot of off campus drives. And I know, Kushal, you have covered a few in your recent video as well, that you covered the off campus events. You have to look out for those opportunities, right? And even in terms of internship, I know of someone who was actually a BCom graduate, yet to graduate,
Yeah.
and he managed to get a internship in Hong Kong. That too in, excuse me, but in a virtual scenario during the pandemic, and it was a paid internship. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are no limits to anything. It's just, if you have made up your mind that you will not get it, then you will not get it. But if you
True.
have made up your mind that I want to do something for myself, then you most definitely can. Just look for information is what I would say.
One more question is, as you know, like this, as a fresher, what more count, project or experiences, which includes internships or maybe job?
See, it's nobody is looking for a perfect intern or a perfect, employee. It's everybody comes with their
Yeah.
own learning curve. Now, if I were to ask Kushal, do you know everything about software
No.
engineering? No, right? And that's something that is a leeway given by every recruiter, by every organization. So you have to be, and you have so whatever you put on your resume as well, you have to be very honest with yourself and tell them, see, these are the things that I've done, this is where I am, and I'm willing to learn. So which is why I when we discuss, Kushal and I discuss the whole piece around the community piece, where people are doing open source contribution and all of that. You need to mention, what are the dates, what are the timelines, because that shows your growth, that shows your learning curve.
True. Okay, so we'll take this one as the last question. So I guess it's not pretty much relevant because he's talking about some ATS software that company might have used to shortlist resumes. I hope if you can throw some light over it, Rachika.
This one was missed. My assumption is that resume is made using so
Latex. Yeah.
my again, I'll just quote the person who said, ma'am, are you a recruiter or an HR? I think I'm an HR. Um, so there are some kind of softwares that there are organizations that they use. Obviously you have to sieve through so many this thing. So which is why there is a certain way, and probably I'll do a video on this. I was planning on doing a video on this, on how you apply to organizations. There is no one size fits all kind of a situation, and I know a lot of people do that. They go like, array, there are 3 openings in, say, XYZ company, and 4 here and 5 here, I'll use the same resume and I'll apply everywhere. That's not going to help you. So you have to read the job description and understand, you know, to begin with, does your role even, or your profile even fit there? And then you need to make relevant changes to your resume and then apply. To just kind of give you a layman's example, say if it was a talent acquisition role. A talent acquisition role is basically a recruiter role. Okay, now different organizations call it different things. There is some fancier terms that organizations use. They call it something else, and probably even in the job description there'll be something else completely written.
True.
The work that I do, I know it's the same work, but when I apply, I have to look at the job description and make those relevant changes so that the ATS or whoever is screening my resume doesn't miss it, right? So that's how you need to be a little more clear about your application.
Got it. Should we? Okay, and this is interesting. Should the resume be colorful with picture or should it be plain and simple?
Okay, so I think, again, you don't have to make it you don't have to add too many colors to your resume. It's the idea is not to make it look too colorful. Keep it professional, and if you were ever in doubt, just use one maybe primary color. You can use probably blue or whatever, and just maybe color the headlines or the headings of each section, and that's it. But I don't think you need to do too much, and you don't need to add any picture and all in it. Especially don't add your pictures, please, unless you are applying for a modeling role, or you're trying to become an actor. Don't put your pictures, because we live, unfortunately, the world we live in is not good, and your pictures can be misused. My advice would be, it's a balance of not keeping it too boring as well, but don't keep it too exciting as well, that the person reading it gets overwhelmed. Okay, so this one, sorry Kushal, I'll just take 1 minute.
Sure, sure.
Ayush has written, thank you Ayush for explaining what latex meant. um so he's saying, okay, using MS Word. So I don't think so. I mean, that's my understanding. As long as you have done your proper research and worked on your resume and created your resume, may not be the answer to your question, and I'm sorry, but it should be fine. I've also heard people, and I may be wrong. Probably I read about it in some article, that if you put in too many like things like diagrams and bar diagrams and this and that, like you make it too fancy, then I believe the ATS does not screen it. Like there is some kind of a mechanism that they feel that this probably is not being submitted by a human or something. There is some around that, and maybe you can research on it. So which is why I keep telling people, don't make it too. And I know that a lot of people do that. They add a lot of bells and whistles to make it look pretty, but don't do that, because then inevitably probably the ATS might not catch it, and they'll probably discard the resume. So just be.
Okay, final question maybe because I know we have a busy schedule. So, any specific tips for Microsoft?
For Microsoft to get a job, or like.
I guess for a job or an internship, maybe.
um I think the first thing would be active on LinkedIn. And I keep saying that a lot of times, because I share a lot of information around whenever there are opportunities, whenever there are, off-campus opportunities. And I do that regularly because I know how much it means to the student community and, to job seekers, that this information comes to them at the right time. So I do that diligently whenever possible. That is the first thing. Second thing is, get in touch with people who have recently joined Microsoft or will be joining Microsoft, in the coming few months. And there is like a whole new batch of a lot of people who will be joining now, college freshers, including Kushal. And obviously, these students are very active on LinkedIn. Probably they are, they are showing off, saying that, oh, we are joining Microsoft, or we are joining here, we are joining there. So catch them while they are available and while they are free. Get in touch with them, and actually they are the best people to know on how to crack that whatever interview into Microsoft. And I'm sure they'll be more than willing, they'll be more than happy to help you. It's like asking the person who's gone through the whole journey, saying that, yeah, can you tell me how did you do it, rather than asking me. My answers will be, from an HR perspective. I can tell you what
Very true.
goes into Microsoft interview. I can tell you what happens. I can tell you, the number of rounds. But if it was someone coming from Kushal who's actually experienced it, then it's like a whole different ball game. The kind of information that you will get is completely different. So that's the way that you need to prepare. Whatever organization, if it is Microsoft, if it is any other organization, get in touch with the relevant people. I think that will be really, really helpful to you.
Okay, great. So, other videos related to resume building and all other stuff are there already published on Ruchka's channel. You can check it out in the link is in the description. And do reach out to people. Follow all the advices that Ruchika has shared. It will definitely help you guys. And thank you, Ruchika, for your time. It was pleasure hosting you. Uh, and if you have any questions, then please do go ahead. And if you want to share anything, please go ahead, or else we can wrap up.
I'm good. I don't know if somebody is asking me questions about Capgemini. I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea what
Yeah,
exactly
actually. Yeah,
Goes
I
into it,
didn't
but
highlighted that. There is one interesting question related to freelancing, if that counts in a resume or not.
yeah, why not? It's work, and why won't you want to put it? That's even if it is freelancing or anything. And if you've done some solid work, then you most definitely should put it there. See, don't shy away. Somebody asked me once, and I'll just wrap it up in 30 seconds, ma'am. I worked in a startup, and I don't know if I should put it in my resume because all my friends have worked in big organizations, and if I were to compare, it's something that it's sad. And I was like, why? Why won't you put? I mean, you worked in a startup, and that shows some grit, and it shows that you're, willing to go above and beyond, your set of whatever, your the most relevant companies that come across, and you've taken that jump of, faith, whatever jump, and you realize that okay, I want to go and work in a startup. That's great. So any work, don't feel shy in putting it in your resume. It's work, and you should respect. If you don't respect your work, then no one will. So that's my two bits on that.
Okay, great. So I hope we had a great session, and it was a really insightful session for me as well. I came to know a lot of new things by walking through the resume live. It's a great experience, and I'm sure that it will help a lot of students definitely. And although we had a reach of around 75 students at its peak, but I'll publish it, and I I will definitely ask the students who are watching right now to share this video to all your friends and to your community as well, because it will help them as well. So that's it, and thank you, Ruchika, once again, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. ओके, तो यार बहुत अच्छा लगा आप लोग सबने ज्वाइन किया। अगर तुम्हारे कोई क्वेश्चन मेरे लायक हैं तो प्लीज उसे ऊपर से कॉपी पेस्ट करके या तो वापस पेस्ट कर दो, या फिर हम अ, या फिर कमेंट डाउन कर देना यार पोस्ट पर किसी पर कि ये वाले टॉपिक्स कवर करो, ताकि मुझे थोड़ा आइडिया मिल जाए कि आगे वाले वीडियोस कैसे बनाने हैं। काफी ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग सेशन रहा है यार, मुझे उम्मीद नहीं थी इतना अच्छा रहेगा। एक बार पोस्टपोन होने के बावजूद आप लोग ने इतना सपोर्ट किया, विच वाज ग्रेट। आप लोग का बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। और अभी भी कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं या कोई टॉपिक आप लोग को सजेस्ट करना है तो प्लीज कमेंट डाउन कर दो। मैं डेफिनेटली उसको चेकआउट करूंगा, और आगे आने वाले सेशन और फ्रीलांसिंग का वीडियो भी आ रहा है, जीएफजी का गिव अवे भी आ रहा है, मैं बता दूं अभी। और इंटरव्यू वाले वीडियोस तो आने ही वाले हैं, ऑब्वियसली वो तो चल ही रही है स्ट्रीक अपनी। बाकी और कोई क्वेश्चन तो प्लीज बता दो। जावा वर्सेस जीएस, विच बेस्ट? यार देखो, ऐसा है कि ये जो लैंग्वेज बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं ना, इसका कोई स्पेसिफिक आंसर नहीं है। अब अगर मैं बोलूँ कि सी प्लस प्लस डेड हो गई है क्या, सॉरी सी जो लैंग्वेज है वो डेड हो गई है क्या, बट ऐसा नहीं है ना यार। सी अभी भी यूज की जाती है, और जावास्क्रिप्ट तो यार मतलब समझ रहे हो तुम, बहुत ही ज्यादा ग्रो करने वाली है इन फ्यूचर। और जावा, मैं कहूँ कि बहुत सारी कंपनीज की फाउंडेशन ही जावा से रखी गई है। अगर आपको जावा नहीं आती तो आप वो काम ही नहीं कर सकते। ठीक है, या तो सी शार्प चलती है कंपनीज में या जावा चलती है, ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा। क्योंकि मॉड्यूलर कोड लिखने के लिए जावा ही यूज आती है। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि यार, अगर मैं कंपैरिजन करूं दोनों में कि कौन सी बेस्ट है, तो मैंने दोनों पे ही काम नहीं किया यार, तो मुझे इतना आइडिया नहीं है। बट आई विल प्रेफर, जो मेरे एक्सपीरियंस से मुझे पता लगा है, कि तुम्हें जावास्क्रिप्ट में आगे मूव ऑन करना चाहिए, क्योंकि उसमें काफी ज्यादा स्कोप है। ठीक है, what to do when we haven't मैं any point to write। यार ये प्रॉब्लम मुझे भी आई थी एक टाइम पर क्या होता है ना यार, हमें एक्चुअली हमारी अचीवमेंट्स होती हैं प्रशांत, बट हम उन्हें लिखते नहीं है, उन्हें कोट नहीं कर पाते कि हमें लिखनी कैसे चाहिए। तो ऐसा कोई भी मोमेंट जो अभी तक तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम्हारी डोमेन के साथ रिलेवेंट है और तुम्हें बहुत प्राउड फील हुआ तो उसको गेन करने में, तो डेफिनेटली उसे मेंशन करो। अब यार अचीवमेंट एक हो, दो हो, या तीन हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट एटलीस्ट हम फिगर आउट ही नहीं कर पाते यार ये अचीवमेंट में कंसिडर होगी या नहीं होगी। तो एक बार अपने जो पूरी जर्नी है अभी तक की तुम्हारी इंजीनियरिंग की या फिर प्लस 2 की, उसमें अब तुमने कुछ बेहतरीन से अचीव किया हो तो डेफिनेटली उसे मेंशन करो यहाँ पे, ठीक है। तो उसे तो मेंशन कर सकते हो प्रशांत। और कुशल सर भी लाइक रिलैक्स गाइस, रिमेनिंग क्वेश्चंस इन द कमेंट सेक्शन। हाँ मतलब ठीक है यार, एक्चुअली क्या है, वो रिक्रूटर है, उनके पास थोड़ा टाइम कम होता है, तो फिर भी उन्होंने अपना 1 घंटा, लगभग 1 घंटा उन्होंने हमें दिया, जो कि बहुत बड़ी बात है। गॉट मेनी रेफरल्स यार, रेफरल्स के बावजूद तुम्हें शुभम कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा है, तो ये तुम नहीं, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट, इवन मैंने भी ये चीज फेस करी है। रेफरल मिल जाता था, बहुत सारे जगहों पे रेफरल मिल जाता था, लेकिन उसके बावजूद मेरे को रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिलता था। रीजन भी, तुम्हारा रेफरल का मतलब ही कंफर्म नहीं होता कि तुम्हें जॉब या फिर इंटरव्यू तक पहुंच गए तुम। रेफरल लगने के बाद तुम्हें एक एज होता है दूसरों के ऊपर, बट तुम्हारा रिज्यूमे उसके बावजूद भी देखा जाता है, और उसके बाद अगर तुम्हारा रिज्यूमे शॉर्टलिस्ट नहीं होता है, तो इसलिए तुम्हें रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिल पाता है। ठीक है, और यार बहुत सारी फैक्टर्स होते हैं, ओपनिंग्स ही ना हो कंपनी में, फिर तुम्हें क्यों ही रिस्पॉन्स देंगे वो। ठीक है, और ये हो गया था। Can competitive coding and 2-3 projects take you to Microsoft from off campus drive? Yeah, definitely. Actually, off campus drive हुई नहीं इस बार, जितना मेरे को पता है। इंटर्नशिप ड्राइव, ऑफ कैंपस फुल टाइम एम्प्लॉयमेंट ड्राइव डेफिनेटली हुई थी, अभी 26 से 30 अप्रैल के बीच में ओपनिंग आई थी। मेरे कुछ फ्रेंड्स सेलेक्ट भी हुए, फाइनल राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यूज तक है, अभी तक रिजल्ट पेंडिंग है। तो हुआ था ऑफ कैंपस फुल टाइम जॉब के लिए। रोहन का ये क्वेश्चन है। और यार इंटर्नशिप का मुझे आइडिया नहीं है, अभी तक मैंने कोई न्यूज नहीं सुनी है, बट डेफिनेटली अगर आएगा तो चैनल पे सब्सक्राइब कर लेना, मैं शेयर कर दूंगा। केप रिसेंटली केप जेमिनी, हाँ बिल्कुल हायर कर रही है यार, मैंने खुद ने शेयर करी थी अपॉर्चुनिटी। सो कैन यू प्लीज टेल व्हाट काइंड ऑफ शुड वी कीप इन माइंड टू। ओके यार, रिज्यूमे शॉर्ट लिंक, यार आई गेस केप जेमिनी का डायरेक्ट टेस्ट ही होगा, उन्होंने जो हायरिंग कर रहे हैं वो उसमें ऐसा, मेरे ख्याल से उनका रिज्यूमे शॉर्टलिस्टिंग वाला कोई सीन होगा नहीं, बट अगर होता भी है तो कंपनी स्पेसिफिक ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है। जो सारी टिप्स अभी ऋतिका ने शेयर करी उन सबको कंसिडर करो, और उनको यू नो इम्प्लीमेंट करो अपने रिज्यूमे में, और हो जाएगा तुम्हारा काम। कमलजीत सिंह का एक क्वेश्चन था, व्हाट इफ समवन डोंट हैव इंटर्नशिप और गुड प्रोजेक्ट्स। यार देखो, डोंट हैव ये एक्सक्यूज है। इंटर्नशिप्स गेन करना, ओपन सोर्स में कंट्रीब्यूट करना, गुड प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाना, ये तुम्हारे हाथ में है। तो एक्सक्यूज मत दो, रैदर उस पे वर्क करो कि तुम उन चीजों को ऐड कर सको। वेब डेवलपर सैलरी इन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, यार एज अ फ्रेशर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स हायर होते हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स हायर होते हैं, जिनका जो सीटीसी है वो काफी अच्छा होता है। मैं कोट नहीं करूंगा एग्जैक्ट पैकेज, बट काफी ज्यादा अच्छा होता है। स्पेसिफिकली अगर वेब डेवलपर की बात करूँ तो तने प्रताप जो है वो एज अ वेब डेवलपर वहाँ काम करते हैं, और तुम उनका एक्सपीरियंस देख सकते हो अक्षय सैनी सर के यूट्यूब चैनल पर। काफी अमेजिंग सा उनका एक्सपीरियंस है। इज इट नेसेसरी टू ग्लोरीफाई इंटर्नशिप वर्क, हाउ डू आई नो माई, हाउ हैज माई वर्क इम्पैक्टेड इन द कंपनी। सो यू नो व्हेन यू डू इंटर्नशिप, जब तुम इंटर्नशिप करते हो, तुम्हारे मैनेजर से तुम इंटरेक्शन करते हो, तो उनसे पूछो कि तुम जो काम कर रहे हो वो एक प्रूफ ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट है, या फिर उस वो जिस सर्विस में यूज आएगा वो काम, सिद्धार्थ, वो कितना इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है, वो किस पर्टिकुलर सर्विस में यूज हो रहा है, और वो सर्विस कौन कौन यूज करता है, कस्टमर बेस क्या है उसका, तो वहां से तुम्हें पता लग जाएगा कि तुम कितना इम्पैक्ट कर रहे हो कंपनी में। ठीक है। ये खैर अक्षय का क्वेश्चन है, बीसीए थर्ड ईयर स्टूडेंट्स आर एलिजिबल और नॉट फॉर एसडी इंटर्नशिप इन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट। यार ये क्या होता है, जब जॉब ओपनिंग आती है ना, तो उसके अंदर मेंशन होता है कि सी एस आई टी ई सी, जो भी बच्चे एलिजिबल होते हैं ना, तो उसके अंदर मेंशन होता है। तो अगर उसमें लिखा है तुम्हारा पर्टिकुलर डोमेन, तो प्लीज उसमें अप्लाई कर दिया करो। और कोई क्वेश्चन मेरे को ऐसे दिख नहीं रहे हैं। अगर रिज्यूमे रिलेटेड जो भी तुम्हारे क्वेश्चंस है, फॉर्मेट या फिर जो भी क्वेश्चंस है, वो सारे के सारे हमने कवर किए हैं हमारे पुराने वीडियो में। मैं उसके लिंक शेयर कर ही दूंगा। मेरे चैनल पे आके तुम रिसेंट वीडियोस देखोगे ना रुचिका के साथ, आई थिंक 2-3 वीडियोस बैक ही वीडियो डाला था, काफी अमेजिंग वीडियो था, काफी अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स था, उसको जाके जरूर देख लेना, डेफिनेटली हेल्प करेगा, मार्क माई वर्ड्स। तो आई गेस यही कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे, और बहुत अच्छा लगा यार आप लोग ने पार्टिसिपेट। इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम, ये तुम क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो, स्मॉल हैक्स इंग्लिश में प्रॉब्लम है, तो यार देखो एक्सक्यूज मत दो, मैं सच बता रहा हूँ। सबको प्रॉब्लम होती है इंग्लिश में, इंग्लिश सबकी इतनी फ्लुएंट नहीं होती, बट इवेंचुअली व्हेन यू विल वर्क ओवर इट, तुम किसी भी चीज पे यार मेहनत करोगे वो इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी। ठीक है, ये नॉर्मल सी बात है और सब जानते हैं। ठीक है, अगर किसी भी चीज पे काम करोगे वो अपने आप इम्प्रूव हो जाएगी। और ट्यूटोरियल की बात करो तो यूट्यूब जिंदाबाद यार, यूट्यूब पे बहुत सारे ट्यूटोरियल्स है। एनी फ्री रिज्यूमे बिल्डर विच, ओवरलीफ यार, ओवरलीफ इज द बेस्ट, मैं वही प्रेफर करता हूँ। काफी बच्चों ने यहाँ पे ओवरलीफ पे ही अपना रिज्यूमे बनाया था। मैं एक बार और शाउट आउट दे देता हूँ जिन जिनका रिज्यूमे यहाँ पे मैंने रिव्यू किया था। फर्स्ट इज अर्गदीप चक्रवर्ती, second was Anish Agarwal, and third was Shubham Kumar. कुडोस टू यू गाइस यार, तुम्हारे रिज्यूमे काफी अच्छे थे बाकी के कंपैरिजन में। मैं बाकी बुरे नहीं थे, बाकी भी बहुत अच्छे थे, बट तुम्हारी में कुछ जो तुम्हारी रैंक लिस्ट जो जनरेट हुई थी उसमें तुम्हारे रिज्यूमे टॉप पर थे। काफी अच्छा स्कोर था, मैंने एक वेबसाइट नहीं मल्टीपल वेबसाइट्स पे तुम्हारे रिज्यूमे को रैंक किया था, और काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म किया तुम्हारे रिज्यूमे ने, और इसीलिए तुम लोग को टॉप 3 में आने का हूँ। कमला, डू वी नीड इंटर्नशिप वर्क फॉर फुल टाइम एसडी रोल्स एट प्रोडक्ट? देखो यार, कोई भी चीज मैंडेटरी नहीं होती, लेकिन अगर वो होती है तो वो इट्स लाइक चेरी ओवर द टॉप ऑफ योर आइसक्रीम, ठीक है। वो एड ऑन तो करती है यार। इंटर्नशिप वर्क होगा अगर तुम्हारे रिज्यूमे में, तो फिर डेफिनेटली वो हेल्प करेगा, बिकॉज तुम्हारे पास इंडस्ट्री का एक्सपीरियंस है, तो डेफिनेटली वो हेल्प करेगा। इंडस्ट्री का एक्सपीरियंस है तो कंपनी को फायदा होगा उस चीज से, कि यार इसको तो पहले से बहुत कुछ आता है, तो उन्हें मेहनत कम करनी पड़ेगी तुम पे। बेस्ट, यार देखो, स्मॉल एक्स ऐसा कोई बेस्ट रेज्यूमे का फॉर्मेट नहीं होता। कोई भी चीज बेस्ट नहीं होती, कोई भी चीज परफेक्ट नहीं होती। परफेक्शन इज अ मिथ। व्हाट एक्सपीरियंस कैन बी शोड फॉर द इंटर्नशिप थर्ड ईयर? व्हाट एक्सपीरियंस कैन बी शोड फॉर इन द इंटर्नशिप ड्यूरिंग एक्सपीरियंस में? यार तुम लोग प्रोजेक्ट देखो, हाँ ठीक है, ये बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है कि यार थर्ड ईयर स्टूडेंट जो इंटर्नशिप के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं वो एक्सपीरियंस में क्या शो करे। मैंने एक्सपीरियंस में क्या शो किया था, मैंने कोई मेंटरशिप करी हो, या फिर कोई स्मॉल ओपन सोर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन किया हो, या फिर कोई स्टार्टअप में इंटर्नशिप करी हो सेकंड ईयर में, तो वो चीजें मेंशन कर सकते हो तुम, अगर थर्ड ईयर के स्टूडेंट हो इंटर्नशिप के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो। ठीक है, एक्सपीरियंस में वो चीज मेंशन कर सकते हो। और अगर एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, तो अप्लाई कर सकते हो। नहीं हो रहा है अप्लाई, तो फिर क्या कर सकते हो, तो एक्सपीरियंस का सेक्शन हटाना ही पड़ेगा ले देकर। इज इट नेसेसरी टू हैव? यार फ्रेशर के लिए शुभम शुभम का अच्छा क्वेश्चन है कि एक पेज का रिज्यूमे होना ही जरूरी है क्या? यार देखो, नेसेसरी नहीं कहूंगा, बट तुम खुद सोचो, अगर तुम्हें 2 पेज की मैं देता हूँ रिज्यूमे, या 3 पेज की देता हूँ, तो तुम पढ़ोगे क्या पूरा? ये एक स्टडी के अकॉर्डिंग रुचिका ने भी बताया था एक सेशन में, लेस देन 10 सेकेंड्स एक रिक्रूटर देखता है एक रिज्यूमे को। तुम 2 पेज कैसे देखोगे लेस देन 10 सेकेंड्स में? ठीक है, मुश्किल होगा। तो फिर क्यों ही बनाना है? और अगर इतना ही बड़ा बनाना है तो नॉवल ही लिख दो। ठीक है, तो एक पेज का ही रखना ज्यादा बेनिफिट रहता है, और क्योंकि सब कुछ सामने होगा तो रिक्रूटर भी देख पाएगा। एनी क्विक हैक सो दैट वी कैन जस्ट एडिट रिज्यूमे इन मिनट? देखो कमलजीत, शॉर्टकट हमेशा बताऊं, शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए काम आता है। लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए अगर तुम्हें कुछ भी काम करना है तो शॉर्टकट से नहीं होगा, थोड़ा सा टाइम दो। इवन मैंने भी कल मेरा रिज्यूमे एडिट किया था, ठीक है, उसमें नई नई चीजें ऐड करी थी, तो अ, तुम भी थोड़ा टाइम दो यार। आई हैव अप्लाइड टू मेनी कंपनीज बट माय रिज्यूमे डज नॉट गॉट शॉर्टलिस्टेड, इवन आई मैच द प्रोफाइल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू स्किल्स। यार देखो, कंपनीज के अलग अलग एल्गोरिदम्स होती है, मेरे को किसी कंपनी का स्पेसिफिकली नहीं पता। और तुमने बहुत सारी कंपनीज में अप्लाई किया, मैं मानता हूँ कि बहुत मेहनत लगती है रोहित, और बहुत स्ट्रेस भी होता है जब आपको शॉर्टलिस्टिंग नहीं हो पाती है आपकी, और आपको कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता है कंपनी की तरफ से। बट हार नहीं माननी है यार। और अब तुम हमेशा बड़ी कंपनीज में अप्लाई कर रहे हो अगर, तो बहुत लेस चांसेस होते हैं कि तुम्हें रिस्पॉन्स मिले। मैं कहूंगा कि ये छोटी कंपनीज, स्टार्टअप से शुरू करो। और एंजलिस्ट एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे तुम अप्लाई कर सकते हो स्टार्टअप्स पे। लिंक्डइन पे एक्टिव रहो ताकि लोग तुम्हें जाने, और रेफरल देने से मना ना करें। तो अगर रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा है तुम्हारी नॉर्मल सबमिशन से, नॉर्मल अप्लाई करने पे, तो शायद रेफरल के थ्रू तुम्हें थोड़ी हेल्प मिल जाए। ठीक है रोहित, तो काफी एक्सटेंड हो गया है सेशन। स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक अगर यार तुम्हें कोई चाहिए तो प्लीज लिख देना। और मैं फिर से तुम लोग का बहुत बहुत थैंक यू करता हूँ फॉर योर टाइम। तुम लोग ने अपना 1 घंटा इस लाइव सेशन को दिया। और मिलते हैं ऐसे ही अगली किसी वीडियो में। 4 बज चुके हैं और हमारा यही टाइम था खत्म करने का सेशन। तो बाय बाय, टेक केयर, और थैंक यू फॉर अटेंडिंग सेशन। लेट मी राइट इट एज वेल फॉर ज्वाइनिंग, और थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग गाइस, एंड लेट्स मीट इन सम अदर वीडियो। जल्दी अपॉर्चुनिटीज और सबके वीडियोस आ रहे हैं, आप लोग लीव कर सकते हैं, मैं एंड कर रहा हूँ ब्रॉडकास्ट। थैंक यू ब्रो, पिक माय क्वेश्चन प्लीज। विकास जल्दी से बोल दो, अगले 10 सेकंड में क्वेश्चन बता दो तुम्हारा। क्या क्वेश्चन था विकास? कमलजीत थैंक यू। कहाँ है तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन विकास? मेरे को ढूंढना पड़ेगा यार। विकास 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 विकास, विकास मुझे कहीं दिख नहीं रहा है तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन, कहीं भी नहीं है। कहीं भी नहीं है विकास। कोई बात नहीं, तुम कमेंट सेक्शन में रीच आउट करना, मुझे टैग करके मैं डेफिनेटली रिप्लाई करूंगा, और यहाँ नहीं तो लिंक्डइन कभी भी रीच आउट करो, डेफिनेटली तुम्हें रिप्लाई मिल जाएगा। लिंक्डइन पे अपना क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हो, ठीक है। बाय बाय, टेक केयर। मिलते हैं ऐसे अगले किसी वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय।